So the camera I'm using today is the Fujifilm X-H2S. All of the images featured in this video have been shot on this camera. Probably a good time to let you know also that this video is in fact sponsored by Fujifilm Australia, and I want to say a big thank you to Fujifilm for kindly sponsoring this video and supporting my channel. Hi, Paul here from Photogenius. Welcome to my channel where I share regular photography tutorials, all designed to help you get more from your digital camera so you can take better photos. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Now I want to start this week's video with street photography, a very popular subject. Yesterday I had a day in Brisbane with nothing on the agenda other than to walk the streets and take photos. Now in this video I want to share them with you along with camera settings and some tips. But I've also got a heap of other images I want to share with you guys today. So I really hope you're going to stick around and enjoy the video. So I began my day in Brisbane's West End, a rapidly changing suburb that has its fair share of interesting characters. I started out shooting black and white, and these images I felt were okay, but I soon switched back to colour, which I think works better with the light and the surroundings. And I'm also using film simulations, which I'll be coming to later in the video. For street photography, you want to be able to react quickly, so choosing a camera mode that helps you take photos with the minimum of fuss is a good idea. Program, shutter priority or aperture priority are good options. I chose to go with aperture priority because I enjoy being able to adjust the aperture quickly using the aperture ring on the lens. Mostly shooting at f8 to f4. Now I'm a big fan of street art, and there's lots to be discovered in the West End and around Brisbane. It's also the annual Brisbane Street Art Festival, a citywide public art event guaranteeing there's plenty to see. I love discovering these tiny doors, which can be found all around Brisbane. Created by a local artist, they are incredibly detailed, and I have particular fondness for this one, as back in the day I used to manage a record shop in London, and 5 minutes away was Red Records. So let's talk about gear, in particular lenses. Now Fujifilm have kindly lent me these two lenses to test out. This is the 50 to 140mm f2.8 zoom lens, and this is a prime lens 16mm, also f2.8. Now all the images you're seeing here were shot with this lens because as much as this lens is a great lens and gives me a bit more flexibility and a bit more in terms of options, it's just really too heavy and cumbersome to walk around the streets with all day long. Plus it draws attention, whereas this is a bit more discreet. Because the X-H2S is a cropped sensor camera, a focal length of 16mm is effectively 24mm due to the crop factor. Now this is a fair bit wider than I'd normally use for street photography. The wide field of view means you have to be very close to your subject to fill the frame, but you do get a much greater depth of field. This is often better for street, as you don't want to isolate your subject from the background, which is part of the story. Now if you're keen to see some images I've taken with the 50 to 140mm lens, there's heaps coming up later in the video as we take a look at some of the other subjects that I've photographed over the past few weeks. Now generally speaking, I have my camera set to shoot raw images, but yesterday I shot JPEGs all day because the Fujifilm JPEGs are exceptional, plus I wanted to take advantage of Fujifilm's film simulations. Designed to mimic the look of classic analog film stock, as you can see there's plenty of preset film simulations available. You can also create your own by following what are often called film recipes, which is exactly what I did for these images. Now in the few weeks that I've been using this camera, I've taken over 4,000 images, and that seems like a ridiculously large amount of images to take, but when you consider this camera can shoot at 40 frames per second, it's actually easily done and the numbers soon add up. Of course, with street photography, the ability to shoot 40 frames a second is irrelevant. So let's now take a look at some images where a faster frame rate and a faster shutter speed is essential. I really enjoy the challenge of photographing moving subjects, whether it be dirt bikes, a surfer on the beach, hip-hop dancers, or even this massive crocodile. Over the past few weeks, I've really enjoyed pushing the Fujifilm X-H2S and capturing some great images and video content. A fast frame rate combined with a fast shutter speed is of course a great way to freeze motion and capture fast moving subjects, but sometimes it's nice just to slow things down a touch, slow the shutter down and actually use blur for effect. For long exposures and taking photos at night, I recommend keeping the ISO low, selecting an aperture of between f8 and f11 if shooting landscapes, and adjust the shutter accordingly. Of course, I've made a separate video all about night photography and low light photography. You will find a link at the end of this video. So I really hope you've enjoyed this week's video. Maybe it's inspired you to get out and do some street photography. Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more images from me, make sure you follow me on Instagram, Photogenius Brisbane. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. It does help the videos get noticed. And of course, so you don't miss out on future videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell. You'll find a link somewhere down here. That's just about it, other than to say thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you again sometime soon. See ya. Bye.